Running is about the worst exercise you can possibly do. Or is it? Let's talk about it. Okay, so you probably heard someone say that running is bad for you because it makes your ankles, your knees, your lower back, it makes everything hurt. So, do you really think that's true? Well, here's the thing. Everything done with moderation will be okay. So, let's talk about running though, and what you can do to get benefits out of running. Before I start, I want to tell you a little story about a guy named Phidippides. Phidippides in 490 BC ran all the way from Marathon, Greece to Athens to give the emperor the news that they had won a major battle. Now what happened was when Phidippides got there, he told the emperor the good news and then he collapsed and died. Now the interesting thing is that Phidippides ran the distance between Marathon, Greece to Athens was about 26.2 miles. So that is the reason why marathons are 26.2 miles long. Now you know. Okay, so let's talk now about running. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but I love running. And although I will always tell you that you don't necessarily have to exercise in order to lose weight, running gives you a stronger cardiovascular system. So there are a lot of benefits that come with exercising, even though, like I said, you don't really have to do it in order to lose weight because the most important thing is what you feed your body, what you put into your body. That will really be the key to you losing weight and kicking the sugar addiction. That's a given. Okay, so, but this year I decided to run 1,000 miles. That was a challenge for me, because I had never run 1,000 miles before. So what I did was, the only problem was that it was sometime around May of this year that I decided to challenge myself with 1,000 miles. So right now we're about 2 weeks away from New Year's Eve, and I think, at about 986 miles. So I'm going to do it, which is great. That's awesome. I'm glad I did it. I really enjoy running. I mean, to me, it's therapy. All these different things come to mind. I will listen to an audio podcast. I'll listen to an audio book, or get on YouTube and listen to videos because I learn a lot that way. Okay. So, is running bad for you or not? Well, it all depends. Let's talk about a doctor named James O'Keefe. Now, he is a cardiologist, and he's a runner, or was a runner himself, and he used to run long distances all the time. The guy is in great shape, and he's in his early 60s. Now, he's got a friend named John who at the time was 68 years old. And John used to run like ultra marathons. I mean, the guy was just like a long distance runner. According to Dr. O'Keefe, when a day went by that he didn't run 10 miles, he felt like he was cheating. I mean, the guy just went crazy because he was so used to running. So obviously you think, well, God, this guy runs 100 miles at a time. He must be in amazing shape. And he was. So Dr. O'Keefe asked his friend James, hey, look, would you mind if I do a scan of your heart? I know you're going to be in great shape, so I just wanted to see what the heart of someone that runs 100 miles at a time, what does the heart look like? Because he is a cardiologist. So he did a scan of his friend John's heart, and he discovered that his friend obviously was in great shape, but his heart had developed, some of the arteries had developed calcium to the point that the amount of calcium in his arteries were as hard as bone. Crazy stuff. So this got Dr. O'Keefe more interested in the topic, and he started reading a lot of research that had already been done. And he found out some interesting things. What he found out was, and he talks about it, imagine like a U shape, where at one end, you have the people that pretty much are just couch potatoes. They don't exercise, they don't do anything, watch TV all day, eat really bad foods. And then on the other side of the U, you have those people that are extreme runners that will run 100 miles or marathons, and they do it often. They run at a very fast pace. And what he discovered that the benefits of running so hard and so long, for basically long distances, basically you didn't get any benefit as far as heart, the fitness of your heart, cardiovascular fitness, than you would if you were on the other side of the U, where the people that just basically watch TV all day, because the damage that you caused to your heart was pretty much the same. So what's interesting is that he discovered that there is actually like a sweet spot. So if you run, what he recommends basically, where you get the most benefit from running, is if you run no more than 10 to 15 miles a week, that you run for short distances, obviously 10 to 50 miles, and at a very slow pace or an average pace of no faster than 10 minutes per mile. Okay, so what he recommends is that, look, as humans, we really don't have to do marathons or run fast, because we're not designed for that. We're just designed to get up and actually walk around and move around. So as long as you do that, then that's okay. So what he recommends is that you don't run any more than 3 to 5 times a week. You keep your runs short, anywhere between 2 and 3 miles, and then that you run at a very comfortable pace. So with that said, the people that ran that way, they got the most benefits from their exercise than those people that actually ran really fast for long distances, because they damaged their hearts. He found out that 62% of those long distance runners, marathon runners, had more plaque in their arteries than people that didn't run as much. He also found out that moderate runners actually lived 6 years longer than those runners that ran really fast for long distances. So anyway, now you have it. You actually can get a lot of benefit from running, but you just have to run for short distances and run slow. Now, as far as people saying, well, running hurts my knees, my ankles, my lower back. Well, here's the thing, guys. If you're over 50 pounds, if you weigh more than 50 pounds than you're normal, or 20 or 30, that's going to, and you're starting to run, well, guess what? All that extra weight, which is not, you're not meant to be carrying that extra weight, you're gonna place a lot of strain on your ankles, on your knees, on your lower back, and that's just what happens. Okay, so if you're able to lose the weight, and now with me, it's really interesting because remember, I was 50 pounds overweight about 2.5-3 years ago, and so when I started running, of course, I had issues, man. I'm like, my ankles would hurt, my lower back would hurt. But you know what? I kept running. I sort of ignored the pain, and then I stretched a lot later on, and I drank, tried to drink, a lot of water and hydrate. And eventually, as the weight came off, to where now I lost 50 pounds, and honestly, I have been running every single day. A day does not go by that I don't run, because I have to meet my goal of running 1,000 miles, but I enjoy it. And I think is one of the things that, although not required to lose weight, it really does speed up the process. If you're burning an extra 500 to 800 calories a day, then of course, remember, 1 pound of fat has 3,500 calories. So if you burn, in addition to eating right and not eating processed foods and not eating sugar, if you run, and you burn 500 calories a day, that means that at the end of the week, you've lost 1 pound of fat. So now you're 1 pound ahead. So you can actually cut the time that is going to take you to lose the weight in half by exercising or by running, but not necessarily running. You could just go walking. I prefer to run because I really enjoy it. All right. So now when I run, what's important though is make sure you're wearing the right tennis shoes. Okay. There are some tennis shoes out there that are really light and they really help you, when you actually put your foot down. It just, the cushion, it's really important. Don't go running with a crappy pair of shoes because you might have problems later on. So a good pair of shoes. Also, make sure that when you're stepping, you don't take long strides. Remember, nice and easy. You go slow, short strides. That when you land, when your foot first touches the ground, that is directly right below your hip. That's where your foot should be landing, not ahead of your hip. Okay, I found that is the best way for me to run. So keep the strides short. Don't land too far ahead of you where you're landing with the heel of the foot, and because you're putting a lot of strain on your knees and your ankle that way. So just take it nice and easy. That's how I do it, and I have not been injured in a very long time. Now, of course, I think I attribute that to the fact that I have dropped 50 pounds. So just imagine if you're walking around with 25 pounds on each hand, if you're 50 pounds overweight and you're running, yeah, that's going to have a huge effect on your ankles, on your joints and whatnot. So again, running, it's a great thing to do, but do it moderately. Take it slow, take your time, just get out there and move. So I recommend it because I do it and it has been amazing to me. But remember what Dr. O'Keefe said in his research. So don't try to be a marathon runner. This is not required. Try to get as much benefit as possible from as little amount of work as possible. So I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions or leave any comments down below, I promise I'll answer them as soon as I can. So thank you so much. I'll see you. Dale.